Hey guys, it's Uno. Today I'm doing a review for one of my favorite comic book series that is going on right now, which is Hawkeye issue 7. I can't believe we're up to issue 7 already. I feel like it was just issue 1 that got released, a couple of months ago. Before I start talking about this issue, just want to give you guys a little update. I have 2 reviews that I usually do on Comic Uno that I did on Dark Avenger Inc., which were Flash issue 16 and Arrow issue 3. So if you want to go check out those reviews, just go in the description below and there'll be a link for Dark Avenger Inc. Let's talk about Hawkeye issue 7. I'm going to give you a little background on what this issue is supposed to do. And if you haven't noticed, this is what a hurricane looks like on a map. Yes, on, a weather map. So they have the whole eye of storm, everything going, whatever. So we got, creativeness of the cover. But, like I said, it's a hurricane. So we get to see, it has to do with Hurricane Sandy, that hit New York in October. So this is Matt Fraction's giving all the royalties to Hurricane Sandy, people who need money for repairs and, people got affected by Hurricane Sandy. So I think that's awesome. And I think I'm going to give you this point of view of a person who went through Hurricane Sandy. I live in New York, so I went through Hurricane Sandy, and I know people who lost a lot of stuff from Hurricane Sandy. And I know people that really do have horrible stories from Hurricane Sandy, still trying to build their life from it. And So this definitely is close to my heart, and I was very excited to read this. And as a New Yorker, just see what they have right and what they have, see if they actually show what we went through. And, yeah, this cover is actually pretty awesome. Love it. Love the whole New York buildings and seeing the city. And, again, I love this hurricane, the map, the sign of a hurricane on a weather map. I think it's awesome just, flying the Hawkeye words. I think it's just so creative. And again, really love this cover. Been really waiting a while for this story to come out ever since I heard about it. I think it was right after Hurricane Sandy, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks after Hurricane Sandy, Matt Fraction announced he was going to do this story. So I've been really excited for this issue for a while, especially since I'm a humongous Hawkeye fan also, and I love this series. So let's talk about the story, see if I like that. With the first story, we get to see Clint. He's helping his friend Grill, and he's going the Far Rockaway, which actually was affected humongously with Hurricane Sandy because it is by the water and it's under sea level, so it got affected a lot in real life in New York. So again, another thing that I think as a New Yorker you take to heart. So we get to see Grill. He, Hawkeye's friend, he has to go to his father because his father's too lazy to bring everything up. His father's like, oh, nothing's gonna happen. Because I'm gonna give you a little history lesson also. Well, a little lesson as a New Yorker. There was a hurricane before Hurricane Sandy. It's called Hurricane Irene. Everyone's so, panicky about it. And everyone's like, oh, this is a hurricane. We haven't had this in a really long time. And, everyone's like, building, the wood stuff or the windows and everything, and then it really wasn't that bad. It was just like a regular storm. So a lot of people, when Hurricane Sandy came, it was like, oh, it's just gonna be like Hurricane Irene, and a lot of people didn't do a lot for it. And this guy, the same thing. It's like, oh, it's just a little storm. And I think a lot of people reacted that as Hurricane Sandy went on too. It's like, it's just a little storm. So that's another thing I feel like it really did bring from Hurricane Sandy. So this guy is, he says, don't worry, you don't have to do all this. But when Clint, he's just putting some sandbags, that way the water doesn't go into the houses. He goes outside and a big crash of wave, all of a sudden comes down the street, which I'll tell you did happen. Also, a couple of blocks away from me actually was houses just like this, underwater because of the sea, it was more of, the water charge, or whatever it's called, the seawater coming into this. It wasn't from the rain, but seawater just coming into the houses. And this happened in this. We get to see how this father and, son get closer, and how the father is like, you know what, I just care you're alive. Because the son, Grill, he's just worrying about his mother's stuff, who's down, in the basement, and his mother died. And he wants to save those stuff, and that's honestly something that was important for the hurricane. A lot of people lost valuable stuff in their basements, and something that they cared about. And this guy, he lost a lot of mom's belongings because his father didn't save it. But he's like, I really don't care. You're my son, and that's all I care about. And that's what we get to see with that story. Really touching story, and again, really, I think really showing exactly what happened with Hurricane Sandy, and showing stuff that I personally witnessed also. I think seeing the whole water charge going to streets and seeing how unbelievable that is, and you hear stories about that also, and getting to see. I'm going to talk more about that after, but I have some other stories to say that too. But next story is with Hawkeye number 2, which is Kate Bishop, and she's going to a wedding in New Jersey. So we also get to see the New Jersey perspective also of Hurricane Sandy, which also New Jersey, of course, with Jersey Shore and all that got affected a lot too. So we get to see she's in this wedding and she has to get medicine for her friend's mom because she only had enough for the wedding. So she goes with her Hawkeye gear to get medicine at this pharmacy, but there were looters, which a lot time with these natural disasters, you do get looters, and they're stealing, of course, meds. That way they could sell them. And we get to see that the person that helps Kate, because she actually gets knocked out by one of the people by a can of beans. So when she wakes up, she realizes that the people around her who also lost stuff helped her to get these guys and get the medicine for her friend. And so her friend gets the medicine, and that's what happens at the end of this issue. So, I think with this issue, for New Yorkers, and I think for people that didn't go through Hurricane Sandy, it really showed what happened, how we felt. I was going to mention with both stories, we get to see, especially the last story, we get to see, these characters, these people, because of this natural disaster, didn't go against each other. Everyone got stronger and a tighter community because of it. And we got to see these heroes who just went through normal things. And I think it is perfect to tell with Hawkeye because they are normal people. Yeah, they're part of the Avengers, but they don't have superpowers. They're normal people, and we get to see those, citizens of the, New York help each other. And I think through Hurricane Sandy, I did realize that a lot of people helped each other, and you get to really witness that with this. You get to see how much of a tighter community everyone became because of this natural disaster. I think that's what New York is all about too, personally, is that we all do get together once hardships come, and we come as a community. Sometimes, especially, as New York City, everyone's so cold, everyone's, to themselves. But once something big happens, we're not cold. We do come together as a city, as as New Yorkers, and we help each other. And I realized that in Hurricane Sandy, I think it brought, with this issue, it brought that to, I think, everybody, showed how everyone came together. These people that I think in a normal day, who knows that those people would come out to rescue, to, help Kate get this medicine. But because of this disaster and everyone's going through something, everyone came together to help Kate get the medicine. And I think, honestly, it just told the story of Hurricane Sandy perfectly, and in a superhero's eyes. And it just told a really amazing story. And again, as a New Yorker, someone who went through it, I think, it just told everything perfectly. And I think people that didn't go through it really realized what happened. And I think Matt Fraction wrote this perfectly because Marvel is in New York, and they went through all of that too. So, again, I think it really hit the points that were very important that we all went through, and except having the lights off for days and days and days. That's something that we all went through. That was really horrible also, and being freezing. Maybe in part 2 that'll happen, but really, honestly, it really hit all the points, and I think it was really good. The only complaint I really have, this is why I'm not giving it a perfect score. I know I can't really complain so much about it, but it really is a perfect story. But the art for the second story really wasn't great. It's very anime-ish, I would say. We get to see, Kate, in that little, like you would see in, a anime type of cartoon. Get to see that, and then, Clint looked really weird in this picture. Hold on. Right there. Yeah, he looked a little weird over there. Yeah, so the art for the second story wasn't the best. It wasn't as good. I think Aja did. Did he do the second story? No, Aja actually didn't do the first story, but it did remind me a lot of Aja's, artwork. So the first story was really good. And also, I think the only complaint from editing was that I felt like Kate's story should have been first because Clint really references Kate's story a lot in the first story, and you're like, oh, but I don't know what happened to Kate because we haven't read that yet. So I think editing-wise, I think Kate's story should have went first, and then Clint's story should have went second because I just felt like the flow would have been a lot better. But other than that, those are like little, tiny bit of complaints. I really think you should pick this up. It's for a good cause, and you get to see exactly what happened through Hurricane Sandy, through a superhero's eyes, and honestly, it's a really good story, and I'm glad they did this, and this is why I love Hawkeye. It's such a relatable title because the guy, Clint, we realize that, yeah, he's a superhero as part of Avengers, but he's so normal. And same thing for Kate. They're two normal people that so happens to be superheroes, and you can relate to them so well. And I think Matt Fraction really hits down the nail with this series, is that you can relate to them. We get to see them as not Avengers, but as normal people and superheroes at the same time, and I think the balance is so great. So pick this up. If you're not reading Hawkeye, pick it up from this issue. It's a really good jumping on point, and again, it goes to a good cause, and read it. It's a really good issue. I give it 4.5. It was so close to my pick of the week, but something else did beat it. It was just, it was really hard to weigh them, but the editing problems and the artwork on the other title did beat it for pick of the week, but really you should pick this up. I give it 4.5, and guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the Rant Situations, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.